Hello, everyone. Welcome to our podcast show, Knowledge to Inspire. I'm Lauren Patterson, author of Freeing Your Heart for Love.
And I am Tiffany Patlin, bestselling author of Unlocking Your Ability to Heal.
Our sole purpose is to discuss a variety of topics, both popular and taboo. We will be sharing our personal experiences and present experts, inspiring guests, professionals, and upcoming authors, all with the wisdom and knowledge to inspire you. That's going to be our new thing, Tiffany. So what are you toasting to today, Tiffany?
Lots of things. I just got some more information to hammer away at my master classes that I'm doing one-on-one consulting with clients and just building my business. And it's really great and exciting and I love it. And I even got a chance to co-host for someone else again today on their podcast. So it's really cool. Just things are just moving and, you know, I'm just celebrating everything and I'm celebrating friendship because you're amazing. Yeah, Lauren was there for me this past weekend. I needed a friend and she was there and I'm still high on it from her advice. So thank you. I'm celebrating you, Lauren.
That felt good too for me. Because, you know, it's like we just need to be there for each other. I don't have a lot of friends either. So it's nice that I have friends now.
Meaningful friends, right? That's what they say. It's like anybody can have thousands of friends, but it's those meaningful ones that are precious. Yeah.
So I'm celebrating getting my name for my nonprofit, which you know, but I'll share it later with everyone because it's still in the works. But yeah, I'm celebrating just the start of my nonprofit, like really getting into the strategic planning now. And I have to think of my mission, my vision, and my core values for my nonprofit. And
that'll be fun.
Yeah. And I have to think of getting board of directors. So I'm on a timeline. So I'm on another timeline that I know I will beat because I'm good at timelines.
What are the requirements to be on the board?
I have the booklet that I'm supposed to read. I haven't read it yet. So there's all these, they're going to help me. The consultant's going to help me interview people. It's a commitment. It's a financial and a time commitment. So people who join have to understand that. And there's a lot of other things that go along with it. They have to be in the same, that's why I have to come up with my mission, my vision, and my values, because those people have to be along the same lines as that.
Right.
So that's very important. That's the number one thing. So yeah, more to come on that.
It's so exciting. We're just doing things. We're just growing. We're growing.
I know. It's amazing. So we have Elliott Vang today, Tiffany, and he is here. So I'm going to let him in to the show. Elliott?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Your
Okay,
name reminds
awesome.
me of your name reminds me of E.T. Elliott.
What did we have to do one of these, right? Like,
Nice.
I wanted to say that, Elliott.
Start off the show. I'm going to read a little bio for you, Elliott, so we can introduce everybody. So let's see. So Elliott, this is Elliott, and he is a certified high performance coach who guides people to self-discover new habits and beliefs so that they can enjoy the life that they create. I like that. He utilizes his positive energy and sense of humor to create a nurturing environment. He seeks out opportunities to empower people to recognize their uniqueness and awesomeness. He has coached for over 10 years and has led private one-on-one sessions as well as facilitated group discussions. Nice.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So what inspired you to be on this journey that you're on?
What inspired me? Myself. Right? Well, I'm gonna say I was struggling to find out who I was and what I wanted to do, and you know, society or people had told us that, hey, in our 20s we are supposed to do this, in 30s you have things figured out, and in 40s and 50s you work and then you retire. right? And here I was in my mid 30s. I'm like, I am struggling to find out who I am. I don't know what I want to do. There is more for me that I just don't know what that is. And struggling to find out who I was, struggling with my life, struggling with my marriage, struggling with my relationships, because here I was just, I felt lost. I didn't know where to go, what to do, where to turn. And then luckily for me, that's when I came upon coaching.
Nice. I love it. You just were in a dark space and you just wanted to reach out and help other people, right?
Very dark, very dark. And I want to help people because I knew how much I struggle, when I was going through that. And me learning this coaching, what do I want to say? This coaching niche, this coaching, whatever life coaching is. I didn't know much about it. I thought people who were in this life coaching realm or field were people who were in crisis mode or needed like super help. I was like, no, that's not me. I don't need that. I don't fall under that umbrella. But lo and behold, I do fall under that umbrella. So
I appreciate that because I had that similar background. Well, we both do. We both had a rough upbringing and all this stuff. And that's why we just want to turn around. And that's what our profession is, just giving back. And it's all rooted around that. So I love that. So how do you use your humor? How do you use your humor in all this?
Well, because when I start coaching and we start talking about stuff, right, it could get a little deep and can get personal. But I just find ways to kind of uplift the mood again and bring that conversation. Okay, that's what you were struggling with. That's what happened to you in the past. Where do you want to go, right? So then just kind of bringing in humor to kind of bring in laughter, because I love to laugh, and bringing laughter and silliness back into it and uplift that conversation to say, where do you want to go? Where do you want to go, right? Let's get there. Let's find steps to get to where you want to go.
That's awesome. Can you share a challenging experience that you've had since you started coaching?
Challenging experience since I started coaching. Let's think about that one. That's a great question.
Give us something juicy.
At first, I didn't think that I had what it took to be a coach. Just like, oh my gosh, I'm new at this. I'm raw. I don't know much about it. But then doing more mindset work for myself, right? Me working with my coach around that mindset piece of, you do have it because you've prepped your whole life for this. All your life experiences you could bring into it. Yes, all of that formal training you may be new to you, but all of those life experiences you can bring in to be vulnerable, right? Role model and share that way so that your client can see that, so that your client can open up and your client can be vulnerable as well.
Yes. So your client, it's like giving them permission to feel. That is so beautiful.
Yeah. And holding that space and allowing that space, right? And another thing is, at first I was like, it got weird when there was quietness or silence. And I thought I needed to fill that space with something, right? With talking. And now it's like, no, allow that client to process that question, the information, give them that space, however long it takes, right? Be okay with that silence because they're processing that information. Sure, if it gets a little long, the silence gets long, then you interject and pose that question in a different way. And then, the client will respond.
What would you say would be like one of your biggest failures? Like, was it with a client? Like, have you ever had anything like that? And what did you learn from it?
Failures like in my life or failures as a coach?
Either one, whichever one.
My biggest failure in my life was playing it safe. I was afraid to take on new things, afraid to do something different because I was unsure of what was going to happen next, right? And then now knowing we don't know what's going to happen next. We can't predict what's going to happen in the future, right? We do know what's going to happen now in the present. And sure, you can, the next steps or those next action steps that you take, is it aligned with where you want to go? If it is, just take that step, right? Sure, it might be the wrong step, but it might also be the right step. And then now you're one step closer to where you want to get to. And even if it's the wrong step, now you know, okay, not taking that route, come back, take a different route, and then get to where you want to get to.
Yes.
That's awesome. Yeah. When one door closes, another one opens. That's what I always say.
Totally.
So who is the one most influential person in your life? Like who mentor and why?
I love this question because then I get to talk about my mom, right?
That's cute.
I love it. And my mom has now passed. But so a little bit about my background. My mom and dad were immigrants to the US. After being here maybe like 8 years or so, 10 years, my dad tragically passed away in a car accident. He was a breadwinner. He was the one who spoke the language. He was the one who was bringing in money. My mom was a homemaker. She barely knew the language. She spoke she read at like a equivalency of a second grade reading level, right? So didn't know the language well, but she was able to raise 7 kids on her own.
Wow.
And I was like, how did she do that?
Right.
And at that time I didn't appreciate it because she was always on my back. She was always on me. And I was like, can she just leave me alone? I just want to go out and have fun. I just want to go and hang out with my friends. But why is she always on me? And now I realize why she was always on me, because we grew up in public housing, right? We grew up poor. We grew up not having the best things. And 1 or 2 different choices that I could have possibly made, I could have ended up in gangs. I could have ended up doing drugs. Could have been locked up in jail or even dead, right? Looking back at it, I was like, oh, now I know why my mom was so on me, right? Because she knew 1 or 2 bad choices. It doesn't mean that I was a bad person, but it would have led me down that road. So just looking back at it, my mom is the most influential person to me. And also, she could have got remarried. She was young. She was beautiful. She could have got remarried. It was later on when I asked her, I was like, Mom, how come you never got remarried? And she said she heard of stories of bringing in another guy, right? A stepdad into the picture. And things just kind of didn't go as planned, right? Things didn't go as well because now she's bringing in this whole different person into a relationship with her plus her 7 kids, right? 7 kids are still young. And she's like, okay, I can't go down that route. I'm going to say no to that. And I'm just going to raise my kids the best that I can, playing both the role of mom and dad, right? So that's why I just love talking about her and I love bringing her up as the most influential person in my life.
Aww. You need to talk to my son, my 18-year-old. He says the same thing to me. Leave me alone. She slams the door on my face. And I tell him the same thing. It's like, I just want you to have a good life. I want you to think about choices, right? The choices you make. What do you want to do for the rest of your life? You have to start thinking about it. You're young. You can figure it out, and it's hard. Yeah, it's hard being a mom sometimes. Tiffany's a mom.
Oh, very. and then that's what I was like, why is Mother's Day always so celebrated more so than Father's Day, right? And then now having kids of my own, I'm like, oh, okay, now I know why. Now I see that. Yeah.
We carry it for 9-10 months.
Yeah. I'll tell my kids that. I have 4 boys. I always tell them, I birthed you. You owe me your life. I carried you for 9 months. I gave you life.
Yeah, Lauren and I both have 3 boys, except for hers are a little older. Mine are still young. I still have like a 3 and a 5-year-old, but I hope I was getting a little choked up there when you were talking about your mom. And I was just like, I hope that that's like one of my greatest hopes in the world is that my children
Mhm.
will be happy to talk about me the way that you're talking about your mom. That they're going to say, my mom went through hell and back, but she was the best mom in the world. She did everything for me and this, that, and the other. And that they learn to appreciate everything that I did, you know? So thank you for sharing that.
I know, I'm so
I think that they will, and I hope that they will. And in that moment, I didn't appreciate it, right? It wasn't until later on when I look back at it and I said, oh, these are the reasons why. And I'm so fortunate that she was on me, that she was very strict in her ways, because I the seven of her kids turned out okay, right? We all turned out okay. So
wow. And how old are all your siblings?
oh my gosh, I have to give away ages now.
I just
I
see
would
how
say
like
the
close
oldest-
together they are, because if she had them all like a year apart, that's really hard.
No, we were roughly about 2 years apart. So let's
Oh.
see, the oldest is almost going to turn 50,
Okay.
and then the youngest is, let's see, 36. No,
Okay.
yeah, 36. Oh my gosh, I got to do the math.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah, late 30s. So,
So how many do you have, brothers and sisters, or just all brothers?
I have three of each.
Okay.
I have 3 brothers and 3 sisters, and I am right smack in the middle. Well, there's 7 of us that are still living. I had 2 older siblings that passed away young age, malnutrition. I never got the chance to meet them, so I like to include them as well. But there's 7 of us that are still here and still living. I am right in the middle.
Wow. I'm a middle child too. We're the more balanced.
Oh my God.
We're the most balanced kids. Is what they-
Well, I love to share that, like, I wasn't old enough to hang out with my older siblings, but somehow I was old enough to take care of my younger siblings.
yeah.
It's like, how does that play out? Like,
Oh.
It's so cool. I love learning about you.
oh, thank you. I appreciate this opportunity to share my story.
Yeah, that's what we're all about. We just want to help people, bring people on and share it so get to know people. So if people want to work with an amazing, happy, humorous coach, here he is.
Yes, here he is. This one. Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Yeah, and then also the inspiration. Everybody in this world needs inspiration. So that's what we want to bring, is knowledge to inspire this world.
Yes, yes.
So you did mention about how you felt like you had a lot of issues with trying to figure out if you can do this job, you wanted to do it, but you didn't know how and all this stuff. So I'm curious, what were your best resources that kind of helped you get to, I guess, where you're at today?
Yeah, so just the community of coaches that I, am a part of, that I went through training with, and plus me myself, I have a coach as well, because I know that there's still things that I want to level up in, I want to skill up in, and I know that there's work that needs to be done for me so that I can serve my clients the best, right? I can be that best to be able to help serve them. I can't be like, oh, I'm finished product, I'm done. Okay, what do you need help with, right? It's like, no, I know that there's still work that needs to be done for myself. So I continually still want to grow, right, for myself. But also having a group of peers that I can bounce ideas off of, or bounce things off of. Hey, I'm thinking about doing this and I'm doing it this way. What are your thoughts? What do you think? Oh, I didn't think of it that way, right? So just having bouncing ideas off people, other coaches, so that they can get their input. Oh, that's great. But how about, did you think about this piece? Oh, no, I didn't think about that piece. Thank you for bringing that up. Stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, Tiffany and I were just talking about that we're always there for each other, and we help each other. And Tiffany has great ideas, business ideas, and then I help her with some of the emotional side. We've never met. We've only met online, me and Tiffany. So.
Wow, that is awesome. That is amazing.
The connection is strong. When we met, we were both in the same book program.
Yeah.
And when I heard about her story, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but when she heard about my story, it just, I don't know, I was like, I got to know her.
Yeah. Even our book, your book cover, I resonated with, and I was like, oh, I want to use the heart too. So I used the heart in my book, and yeah, we're spiritual soul sisters. We were
I
meant to.
thought for sure you two were gonna tell me you two were childhood best friends. You grew
No.
up with this and that.
We just met
Oh,
last year. We met last year in August, right, Tiffany, or September? It hasn't
Something like
been
that.
long. But yeah, we started our podcast in December and we just said, let's just do it.
Yeah, kind of like what you said. You didn't know. And what did you say, Elliott? You said what did you say? You said that when you know something or you just go for it and just do it. And you said something like that. And that's what we did. We just said, you know what? We're going to make a podcast and we're just going to do it. And we did it. And now we're booked till when next year?
October, November, actually November now. That's why Elliott had to wait because we connected with Elliott a while ago.
I know. I think it was like December, January, roughly right around that time. And I was like, what? We got to wait until like April? Like, really? I was like, okay, I'm all for it. Let's do it.
Thank you for being patient. Yeah. I mean, I have people booked all the way to November. Yeah. So we're very blessed.
Tiffany, you brought up a great point, right? Like, if it feels right, like it's right? Just kind of just do it. If it, you get that feeling inside, oh my God, this just feels right for me to do. It's like, okay, just do it, right? Kind of like you two, you came together, it felt right. All right, let's just get this podcast going and see where it goes.
Yeah.
So I love that.
We actually had some negative Nancy's in our ear saying that we shouldn't do it.
Yep.
And I think that's with everything, like, to our listeners, if you ever, like he's saying, if it feels right for you, I agree, do it. And, take the naysayers, that's their opinions. But if it matters to you and it feels right to you, then you can't go wrong, right?
Yeah. I mean, even questioning our relationship with each other, and it's like, what's it to you? We get along, we like each other.
Yeah.
It's like high school, it's like, we're not like 12. We can be our own person. We're adults. We're grown kids.
And even Tiffany, you brought up another great point there. When people are in your ear, those negative Nancy is telling you, oh, that's not the thing to do. You shouldn't be doing that. That's even more reason to do it, right? It's like, yes, because now you're kind of stepping out of that comfort zone, out of your safe zone. And now you're stepping out and people are like, oh my gosh, are you sure this is what you want to do? No, it feels right to me. So this is what I want to do, right? So even more reason for you to take that jump and go for that deep end. Let's go, dive into that deep end.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm all for that.
And it's helping both of us, like, because I used to be afraid of public speaking. Now I'm like all over it. I'm like, I can go put me on a stage now. I like the Zoom though, because you're behind the camera.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know how I'd be on stage, but I'm good with Zoom.
You're behind a camera and you also don't have to worry about what you're wearing about, right? So
Yeah, exactly.
Don't stand up for it.
I was just thinking about a post today, Tiffany. I was like, what's your podcast style? Are you wearing pants? Are you not wearing pants?
Yeah.
That's a good one. You should put it in the group.
I know, because I was thinking about my ring. I'm like, oh, this is my podcast ring. And then I thought of it, like, are people wearing pants? Are they not wearing pants?
Hopefully everybody's wearing pants. They can be, regardless if it's PJ pants or sweatpants or some kind of pants, but hopefully it's some kind of pants that they're wearing.
I think that guy on the news is no one's ever gonna let him down on that one anymore. That poor guy. He's famous for not wearing pants.
Oh my gosh, my cheeks are hurting. It's good exercise.
Hey, we're here to have fun. Yes.
Yeah, you're proving how humorous you are. So this is great.
Exactly. We love laughing. We had a humorist on. What was her name? Lisa. Was it Lisa, Tiffany?
We didn't even get to talk about her. We have to invite her back on because we were just laughing the entire time.
He was doing improv, Elliott. Like, she put on a wig and she became somebody else on the show.
Oh, wow.
It was amazing. You'll have to go to our YouTube channel.
It was great.
Okay.
I forgot her name, but yeah, she was hilarious. She was hilarious.
I'll have to look that one up.
Lisa McLeland.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. So we usually like to leave our listeners with like an inspirational message. So do you have one for people?
What is my one inspiration? I have so many. Like, I have to pick one.
Just one. Just
Your favorite one.
Yeah.
My favorite one, and I love to keep it simple, will be 2 words, right? Be you, right? And to give more info on that is, hey, be yourself. There's almost 8 billion people in this world, but there's only one of you, right? And you are enough. You are worthy. You are deserving. Like, you just be yourself, and it'll shine through, and you will attract the people that you will attract, right? Don't go out there saying, oh, I want to attract so and so. No, you just be yourself, right? And you will attract your people, your tribe, whatever you want to call it. Those, it will just kind of manifest itself.
Yes.
I love that. That is my favorite one. I always say, be yourself. Everyone else is always already taken.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that is knowledge to inspire you.
I'm like a walking quote now because I read them so often that I've just become this walking quote. Like I'll read them and I'm like, oh my God, that's my favorite one. Because I've seen it before. I'm
There's
like,
a quote for that.
yeah, there's a quote for everything. So how can people find you? I know we're gonna put your links in when we post, but how can people?
Yeah, they can go to my website and find out more info about me, elliotttvang.com. That's Elliott with 2 L's and 2 T's, okay? VANG.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you. It was my pleasure.
And we'll post the links and we'll share it with you so you could share. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel and our Facebook.
Will do. Yes, do it.
Thanks, Elliott.
Thank you.
Bye.